Hey, good day, students. Today, I want to make a short video, and this will be a reminder video for all the students who forget and don't know. But this video will be on how to do a written homework assignment and how to submit a written homework assignment. Okay? And so in this video, I hope to show you exactly what I want you to do on problems, how to make sure you get them correct every time, how you can grade them every time, and then when you're all done with that, how you can submit. I'm actually going to do one of the problems on our first assignments just so you can see how this is done. All right, here we go. Okay, I am now, as you can see, I'm on the web page, and I am now in here, and I want to go do my homework for pre-calculus. So I go to the content, and it should show me everything. Hang on. Okay, I was in the wrong class. So now I'm in the right class, and I'm on the lesson measuring angles. And this is our first lesson. I've watched the video, I've done the lesson, and now I'm going to go to the homework assignment, which is always the deepen. And there's my first problem. And so my first problem is, what is 58 degrees, 20 minutes, and 15 seconds in decimals? All right, now it has the answer there, but it shouldn't be there. I may have done it already, but I would go ahead and do this problem on a sheet of paper. And so not only do I enter the answer into the computer so I can check it, I'm going to actually do the problem. I'm going to show you how that needs to be done right now. And so I would get a sheet of paper, and let's say I'm going to let you do this problem. So let's say it was 68 degrees, 15 minutes, and 20 seconds. And I wanted to write that as a decimal. Well, in order to do that, I know that 68 degrees is in front of the decimal. So this is like 68.0 plus. Then I have 15 minutes, which is 15 divided by 60 because there are 15 minutes in an hour. So I have 15 minutes out of a total of 60. And then for seconds, since I have 60 minutes, I then have 60 seconds for every minute. So the denominator here is 60 times 60, or if you wish, 3,600. And so I would take 20 and divide by that. Now I just go to my calculator and I figure out what these decimal portions are. This is 0.25, and I'll figure this one out. And so this next part is 0.0055. It repeats fives forever. And so most of the problems I think you'll encounter won't have a repeating decimal. And so you can just round off where the decimal ends. In this case, with a repeating decimal, I'm going to round off to the fourth place. So this would be 68.2556 degrees. Okay? So I've rounded that off. So I just add those together. I have now, on my paper, I have written this problem. So what is in decimal All right. And I have now shown my work. Okay. And I've entered my answer. And then I would, at that point, go on to the next problem. So once you do that and you check your work, you can then check your work. And if you're correct, then just go on and do the next problem. If it's incorrect, I would use a different color. And I would then do a correction. And by use a different color, you could use a highlighter, you know, um, any way to highlight redoing the work. So let's say I made a mistake. Instead of dividing by, and let me change my color here. Instead of dividing by 3600, I divided by 360. So I got 0.055 repeating. Okay. So my answer was 68 point, then 3056. Okay. Because of my typo. All right. Or because I divided by the wrong number. All right. So now I need to correct that problem. So I would do it in a different color or I would highlight it. So I would go back and I'd go 68. I would re-show the work plus 20 divided by 3600. All right. And then that is equal to 68 plus 0.25 plus 0.0055 equals 68.2556. Okay? Degrees. And now I could come to a highlighter and I could just highlight my correct work. Or I could write it out in a different color and that would indicate that there's my correction. Okay? Now, if I try to correct it and I cannot do it, then you need to definitely tell me. You need to write in a different color or highlight it in some way. You need to say, you need to say, I could not correct this problem. Okay? So you need to tell me something's happened. And you might want to highlight that in a different color or write that even in a different color. I could not correct this problem. When I go through these problems, I might see, oh my gosh, I have 10 students who couldn't do this one problem. That even after they did it and tried to correct it, they still couldn't do it. Okay? And then that might be a problem I would talk about in class. I might come back and say, okay, some students were having some struggles with this. Here were some of the mistakes I noticed. And I am, going to talk about this problem, not only to help those students, but to help you guys. And so, and I would talk about those kinds of mistakes. Okay? So it's really important as you do these problems that what you're kind of giving me is I know how to correct this problem. I could do this problem right the first time, or I could not figure out how to do this one. I need some more help on it. If you do this on a problem, this is a great way to let me know that you should come to office hours for this as well. But it's also a great thing to let me know, and it can become something that I can talk about in class. This is why I want you to do written homework every day and keep up and stay as close to where we are at each and every day, because that will help you to do better. All right? It will make it so much nicer. Now, once you've done this, you're going to have a whole assignment. I probably should have labeled this problem number 1. And then I'm going to go to the next page and I'm going to do the next problem if there were 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 problems. However many there are, I'm going to do all of them on paper just like this. Okay? And so in this case, they wanted me to write the answer there. And that's pretty obvious. I got to show the work to get it. So the other thing I want to talk about is some of these problems. Let me go to this again and let's look through. There we go. So that's learned. So let's go back to the content here. And let's go there. And it may have been marked complete. There may have been just one problem. Oh, that was submissions. Back again. Sorry, wrong spot. So I go back to the actual assignment. Now it's checked off here. So I can uncheck it. All right, which is fine. Because it doesn't really matter if it's done in here. It just matters if you've done it for me. So I'll check this. That one's correct. And it looks like this just had one problem. Or no, there were other problems. I got to go back. Oh, no, there's the next problem. So now then we want to change decimal degrees to minutes. Again, this is a fill in the blank. Now, here's one. This is a drag and drop, okay? You want to drag and drop the answers to the box that matches the correct radians and degrees. Now, I have done this one. So this pi over 2 was down here. And so 90 degrees is pi over 2 radians. Now, I can drag and drop that here, but that is not the work, okay? Just writing this down is not the work. The work is I'm going to need to show that that 90 degrees is really pi over 2 radians. So 90 degrees equals blank radians, okay? So that means I take 90 degrees times pi divided by 180, and that will give me 90 over 180 leaves 2. That will equal pi over 2 radians. So even though the work is simple, don't do it in your head. Show me on paper, okay? And when we go to check this answer, oh, I'd have to do it again. Let me go to the browser. It'll be my newest one there. Close. Almost there. Oh, if you mark it complete, then it's hard to go back and look at it. So you got to mark it incomplete, and then you can look at it again. So now there's the assignment. So now I can check. So on this drag and drop, I really have 3 problems to do. So I'm going to show 25 degrees times pi over 180 is equal to blah, blah. And I'm going to work through each of these. Then I'm going to go look and do the dragging and the dropping. Okay? Then I can check, and they will give an example of how to do those. And if I miss one, then I have to go back and look at it. Now, here's another drag and drop. So I would take pi over 3 times 180 over pi. All right. and that one would then be 60. But I'm going to have the work be shown, all right? And then we can check. Oh, it's saying one of them's right. Oh, I haven't finished the others. Here it gives me a solution, all right? And then now you have this problem, and that looks like the end. So there were 5 problems. We're going to talk about these in class tomorrow, so I'm not going to do them all. But that's how you do an assignment, okay? Any questions you can ask in class. So let's look at how we turn it in. Oh, I hope this is showing up. Yes, it is. Wow, this is really cool. Look at that. There's a video of me, and I'm going to show you how to turn in an assignment. All right, are you ready to do that? Let's get going. Hello, hello. Oh, so now here I am. I'm going to grab the other video. What, you like my head here? Just barely in there. So I'm using my phone, and I'm going to pretend your schedule is your assignment that you have to turn in. So what I do is I use my phone. And on my phone, you could use Notes, you can use Cam Scanner, you can use Tiny Scanner, but you need an app of some type that will take your phone and will take a picture of the assignment, but turn it into a PDF. Now, what I use is Cam Scanner, and when I turn it on, it looks like this. And for Cam Scanner, all I have to do is press the camera button there. And now I can take a picture of my assignment. Now, do you see how distorted this video is of my head here? It's just a terrible way to do the video. But do you see how the picture goes off in the distance and how it's harder to focus up here than it is down here? That's because the camera's not going to focus. The same thing happens when you scan with your phone. You have to make sure your phone is directly over the top of your stuff. And so here's my stuff right here. And now I am going to scan it. All right. And so I'm holding my phone level. If I tip it up like this, it makes the top blurry and I can't read it. Okay. If I skew it to the side like this, it makes it hard to see because it's not squared up in the picture. So your goal is to get above that, hold still, let it focus, and then you can take the picture just like that. I've now taken a picture of the assignment. Now I'm going to batch it. Maybe this assignment took me 2 pages, so I'm going to do it again. All right, and take the second page. If I do that, you'll see on Cam Scanner, right there, it has the number 2 in the corner. That means there are 2 pages. That's the best way to do it, is to batch it together. Once I'm done with that, I hit the done down here at the bottom. So I hit done, and now I want to straighten up my images. So when I look at these images, I can edit the images, okay? And so to do that, I tapped on the image. And what I'm looking for is that it's square in there and so forth. Now I can move the boundaries if it's slightly out of square, and which happens. It's not that hard to get out of square, but this one turned out really pretty good. It squared up really nicely for me. And since it did that, I can now send it to myself. So I edit this and take care of that. And once I edit it, then I want to then email it as a PDF to myself. So I look for the email. Oh, you can also rotate. That's really important. Actually, very often I'll go to the edit window, which is right here where it says, you'll see it says crop and rotate. Don't send me your assignments sideways or upside down. It just takes me time to rotate them. So you take care of that issue so I don't have to. In any case, this one's good. And so I pressed email and it says share PDF. That's what you want to do. And then you want to send it somewhere. So I press send and it goes to my email. Now, who are you going to send it to? Not me. You send it to yourself and you save it to your computer. How do you save it to your computer? By the name of the lesson. So I would make a folder on my computer that says homework assignments for trigonometry. And then I would save this one is 1.02. And then save the next one is 1.03. And the next one is 1.04, etc. And then if I don't record a grade by accident, which means very often, sometimes I grade yours, but I forget to put a grade in, then you can send me an email and you can say, hey, Mr. Ridpath, I noticed I had a 0 on the 1.04 assignment. Here's my PDF that I submitted. And then that email will be a reminder to me and I can fix it. Okay? And so that's what we can do in the case of something that goes wrong or a grade gets dumped by the system or I just forgot to enter it. Okay? And so you will have a record of all your homework and you won't necessarily have to keep all the papers. I know students don't like to keep papers. And so you could dump those papers, but now you have all your assignments saved electronically. And when you do quizzes, you should save your work, even though you don't have to submit it. When you do tests, you should save your work. And then you'll have it. And then if you have questions or you need help, I'll be able to do that with you and for you. Make sense? So once you're there, I'm just going to email this to myself. And so I type in my email, so bridpath and I send it to my personal email. All right, not my Tiva Hallsville. I send it to my personal one. And then now I can then take that assignment and I could then upload it to the system. Okay? And so I'll show you that here in just a second. Here we go. Let me stop this. Alrighty. So once you have your assignment on your computer, you come back to the exit written. You come right back. So this was in the content. I'll go back to the content here. And this exit written, this is where you turn in your homework assignment. It's just a Dropbox. You come here, you can click upload, and then you go to where you keep all your homework and you upload the 1.02 assignment. And it will pop in here, and it'd be best if you had like 1.02 Ridpath, you put your last name with it or your first and last name. So then I always know it's your assignment. You upload it, it will submit it, and then it will come to where I can look at it and give you a quick grade for it. If you do all these things, you write out your problem, you show all your work, you check your answers, and you give yourself a grade on every assignment. Oh, I got 3 out of 4 correct, and I was able to correct the last one. All right. So to me, that's a 4 out of 4 if you can correct it. If you don't know how to correct it, or you're not able to follow how to correct it, then, just give yourself a grade on it. All right. And it's turning things in correctly gets you the points. Okay. These assignments are formative, they're to teach you how to do the problems so that when you take the quizzes and tests, you're going to know how. How do I do my work so that I can get these things correct and get the highest grade possible? In fact, students who get the highest grades generally are writing out their work. That's typically what happens in my classes. So, all you got to do at this point is you're going to upload right down there, and you can upload a file. I might have a file here I can upload. Who knows? Maybe not. No, I don't. Oh, maybe I do. Oh, yeah, I got something. So I could upload, here's my assignment, and so I could upload that and put that in there, and it is now uploaded. I think. Yeah, there we go. And now I can submit, and I now will have a grade. So that's pretty slick. And I want you guys to do that. All right. So that's how you do your assignments, and that's how you submit them. All righty. Thank you. Bye.